Have y'all come across the lady yet from Georgia who has been going viral the last several days here, doing a little bit of a story time about her nasty neighbors who she caught on her doorbell camera having a little fun in front of her camera and her welcome mats? Yeah, it's wild. You gotta stay tuned. Don't go nowhere yet. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna share the tea. Come on, y'all.
Imagine you look on your Ring camera and you see your neighbor. Mind you, this man in the white shirt is my neighbor, standing in front of your front door.
So the guy in that picture is the neighbor. He lives right across the hall from her. He lives with his mother, who's in a wheelchair, and she's never really had any negative vibes about him before, she said. So let me give you a little backstory. She's a single mom. She has 3 kids. She recently moved to Georgia earlier this year to be closer to family. And she has a 3rd shift job. So she's said her apartment, you have to walk down a few steps or whatever to get into the hallway to go to her apartment. And then there's several apartments in this hallway. And she said around the back of her house and all that, out of her windows, all you see is woods and stuff. So apparently this day, her neighbor across the street was hanging out with his friend who is, you'll see later in another video, he has a red shirt on. And so that gentleman, apparently it was his birthday. And so later on that evening, throughout the day, they were out in the yard, around the grill, drinking, hanging out, partying, whatever. And occasionally her Ring doorbell camera was, and the cameras around her apartment were going off because they were walking around like windows and things like that. But she didn't really have a problem with that because she knew they were, kind of indulging for the day because it was the friend's birthday. So as long as they wasn't bothering her, she didn't care what they were doing, right? So this goes on for a while throughout the day. And then later that evening, she had to get ready for work. So she got her kids together, got them to bed. Their babysitter comes over. I think her oldest was the only one that had not gone to sleep yet and was up watching TV with the babysitter and stuff. So she leaves for work. So on her way to work, she was chit-chatting with one of her best friends and was talking all the way to work. And then her phone was about to die. So when she got to work, she put it on the charger. She goes to doing her job. She's, waiting on her customers, such and such. But she goes later to check her phone to see if it's charged up. And when she looks at it, there is like 60 notifications from her Ring doorbell app. And she's like freaking out because she's like, what's going on? Because at this time of night, now this is like late at night now, this should be not that much activity going around her doorbell, around her door, around her house and all that. So she proceeds to pull open the doorbell camera app, and the first thing she sees is her neighbor is standing in front of her door, clearly looking at the doorbell camera with his friends there. Now, the friend who has the birthday in the red shirt is in the background, and let's say he is playing Twiddledink with himself. And the girl that they have with them is a Caucasian female, older woman, heavyset. She walked up with a cane with some jeans on and a white shirt. The guy in the red shirt came up on a moped. And so this was all caught on the camera. And the neighbor was in a white shirt. So they're out in the hallway in front of her camera. And the neighbor goes into his house. He gets a blanket and a pillow and brings it out, lays it in front of this lady's door, clearly in front of the doorbell camera, and the female proceeds to undress and get on her knees, and she begins to do some birthday candle blowing out. She's blowing out the candles, basically. And she's also putting a little icing on the birthday boy's cake as well, too. And so this is going on. Birthday boy is watching it first. Neighbor's in front of the door, right in front of the camera, getting his little groove on. And when he blew his candle, she apparently couldn't handle it all. And some of it went onto this young lady's doormat, her welcome mat. Yeah, she sees this on camera too. And then I guess they switch off and the birthday boy gets his little fun in. So all this is going on. She sees this on camera. She freaks out. She goes to her manager, lets him see what's going on, says she needs to go check on her kids, da 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 da. So she hauls Bud home. Now, she called the police on her way home, and she's, I guess, talking to the police and stuff. So they show up. The police eventually show up. And so, but she got there before the police. And by the time she got there, she was raising Cain, cussing, fussing, hollering. So now some of the neighbors, I guess, were looking out the door, which apparently they wasn't looking before. But they proceed to the guy in the red shirt and gets back on his moped and hauls butt. And the white female, excuse me, is still down on the floor with nothing on, and her clothes are, I guess, hanging on the floor there. And so the young lady grabs the lady's shirt and throws it at her and tells her to get dressed. And then this lady has the nerve to ask her to help her up. Yeah, the lady had walked up with jeans and a white shirt on and a cane, so she had a limp or something. So something was going on with her. And I guess the neighbor grabs the pillow and the blanket, and he opens his door. And in the video, you see his mother in there in a wheelchair, and he throws that blanket and pillow in, and it kind of hits his mama. But then he goes into his apartment, so trying to haul butt before the cops get there. So she's there. She's waiting on the cops. Cops show up. And so they try to question the guy, but he won't come out of his apartment. And the other people are gone. And then, so one of the police officers comes over, knocks on her doors, asks to see the video and stuff. So he sees the video, she shows it to him. And then they proceed to arrest the neighbor. But as far as I know, they did not catch the guy in the red shirt on the moped, or they don't know who the female is. Nobody knows who that has revealed who the female is yet. So that's part of what I know so far. But hold on, I'm going to show you this video where they clearly knew they were on camera. Yeah, they clearly knew they were on camera, and they were talking about it. So watch this. Stay tuned.
I did way better than I normally would have, because he didn't say nothing. It's a bad day. Yeah. We in front of I don't think I watched it and everything. We in front of so I'm in front of this dude's door like that. We got a door cam. We got a camera on. Yeah, you know what I'm doing. I'm being it don't matter. I don't care. I know what I am. You pull your shirt up. Oh, girl, say something over here. Or how you shit. What? What?
Okay, did you clearly hear them? They knew what they were doing. Okay, so to proceed on, the cops were called. She came up. She raised Cain, like I said. And the cops were called. They went eventually over to the neighbor's house, and he was inside the house. He didn't want to come out. He was talking to him through the door. And then one of the police officers looked at the video and then went back over there and said, yeah, he did it. And so when they arrested him, it was funny because one of the cops said, he's kept hollering like, I didn't do nothing, right? But the cops like, you clearly were effing that woman and having, on in front of her doorbell camera. So they arrested him. So he was taken in. But like I said, the guy in the red shirt took off, and the female, no one has revealed who she is yet. But there's more twists to the story. You need to go follow her on her TikTok here. I'm going to tag it. And she did all this on her Facebook originally. So I'm going to also put her Facebook link in the comments and in the caption. But go find her on Facebook, and it's a few stories down in her post on her page, but she actually put the video in the comments. So if you want to go see what was really going on, be prepared. Yeah, be prepared. But go check it out and follow along for more of her story. And if I find out more details, I will reveal what I can. But I want to let her reveal her story first. But I will say the guy in the red shirt has been called out by TikTok and FB sleuths. And so they know the name of him, but as far as I know, he hasn't been arrested yet. And then it's even funnier is the girlfriend of his fiance, who apparently is pregnant, is now stalking her on all of her social media and now commenting on the TikTok videos and messaging her and such. So that's gonna more come out. So y'all stay tuned for that story. So hit that link and follow Pepper and go find her on Facebook under Pepper Ann Pearson. And yeah, stay tuned. It's gonna get juicy.